saying these stoves, they are called JCED in vernacular. They are energy efficient stoves. They were invented with an aim of reducing the amount of fuel wood that people use when cooking. As you know, in Malawi, about 90% of the population, they rely on using firewood for cooking, and most of the food is cooked. It's not eaten raw. So more trees are being cut because of that. Because at least each and every house, they are using firewood, so they have to cut trees to find firewood. And others are using charcoal stoves. So these stoves were invented to help the people to be using less fuel wood, so that they can reduce the deforestation. Okay, and then the use of this is discouraging the use of charcoal. And charcoal is so destructive. It takes 8 tons of fuel wood to prepare 1 ton of charcoal. So it's so destructive. So this one came in as a way of motivating people to be using fuel wood, and then using less fuel wood to reduce deforestation. And then the stove is known to have some other benefits, like the health benefits. It also reduces the smoke that is produced if you compare it to the traditional Philistine fire. So it's like it reduces the smoke, it reduces the fuel wood. Okay, hence the people who use this stove, they are a bit safer than using the traditional Philistine fire. And then the other benefit is economical. If you are using less fuel wood, if you are buying that fuel wood, that means you use less money. In a week, if you used to buy 3 times, you used to buy 3 bundles 3 times. This time you reduce it, you buy 1 bundle in a week. Hence you save some money, which you can use for other things. And then it has got environmental benefits. The reduction of deforestation, the reduction of emissions that are being emitted to the atmosphere. So those are the benefits of the stove.
10 people work for JCED making energy efficient stoves. They average about 30 stoves a day. Factors like the weather play a large role in how quickly a stove can be made. They start by collecting soil. This soil is cured for 14 days in large vats. They then remove small stones and bits of detritus from the clay. Now it is ready to be moulded. The mould this man is using is called a pedal. The stoves are left in a shady drying room for 3 weeks because the direct heat from the sun can crack the clay. Once the stoves have been left for a few days, they are inverted. This is to allow good air circulation and speedy drying. Each worker has an individual design that they give to the stoves they create. This is done to keep track of how many stoves each person makes and sells. After the 21 days, the stoves are baked in a kiln, which is basically a large oven. The kiln they use here can take almost 200 stoves. The stoves are arranged in layers and piled very high, higher than the top of the kiln. Once they have been put in the kiln, dry grass is placed on top, then wet mud on top of that. Holes are made in the wet mud and a fire is made at the base of the oven. Long holes in the kiln allow for this and the circulation of air. It takes 6 to 8 hours of burning to bake these stoves. They are then left in the kiln for 1 day to finish the baking process. In the future, JCED hope to move from a firewood-fueled kiln to an electric-fueled one. When the stoves are taken out and sent to the warehouse, their quality is measured. The workers keep and sell the stoves of poor quality to the people in their neighbourhood for a cheaper price. The rest are sold to JCED for 900 kwacha, which is about €1. JCED sell them to the people in poor communities for 500 kwacha.
So in our project, the Environment and Food Security Project, we have a target of distributing more than 2,400 stoves to the communities within the impact area. Yeah. So our approach was that we wanted to work with the people from the community. So we mobilized people that they could volunteer themselves to be promoters. Yeah. And we trained those promoters on how the energy efficient stove works, so that they should be able to advise others on how best they can use the stoves. And then we also trained them in how to market the stoves. Yeah. So they are there to find the market for the stoves. The market, I mean the demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our aim is not money, but it's the distribution part of it. Yeah. And then after these promoters create demand, we take these stoves to the field, and then they are sold at a minimum price of 500 kwacha. 500 Malawi kwacha is less than $1. Yeah, it's less than $1. The aim of putting a price is just to encourage the sense of ownership, because there is that tendency of when you get a free thing, you don't care about it. You say this is free. Yeah, but if you take something at a cost, you own it. So that's what we wanted in putting the price. Otherwise, the little price on the market is 3,000 kwacha, which is about $5, $4, or $5. Yeah.
We decided to stop here because people wanted the stoves here. That's why they gave us the number of stoves which we should bring. That's why we have come here to sell these stoves to them.
The Energy Efficient Stoves project has run for 3 years, and in that 3 years, JCED has distributed over 1,495 stoves, saving hundreds of trees. As Mr. Pwanda mentioned earlier, there is health issues associated with cooking over an open fire. These issues largely affect women and children, the most vulnerable in society. Within the household, it is they who are most exposed to such noxious fumes. JCED energy efficient stoves create less pollution, decrease the negative effect on health of using a fire to cook, and reduce the rate of deforestation in the area.